If you're in a relationship and all you desire is to be vulnerable with your partner, but you struggle with that, it makes me wonder if you are struggling with toxic strength. So, this idea of toxic strength is when you have the belief that you have to be tough at all times, that you have to be hyper independent, and that you can't show softer emotions because you are then deemed as weak. And unfortunately, that is embedded within our some of our culture. If you're in the Western culture, pick yourself up by the bootstrap. If you came up from a generation where feelings don't matter, or you also happen to be a part of a culture where being a strong, independent man or woman is more important than being vulnerable, then you're going to get stuck in the whole toxic strength. And it's going to feel very lonely because it is. Because unfortunately, when you're experiencing that level of hyper independence and can't show emotions, no one knows you're struggling because you've been taught to have this poise about you to walk into any situation or relationship and not look like you've been affected. And so over time it becomes lonely because it is lonely. And this actually causes difficulties in relationships because there's something about romantic relationship that begs you to be vulnerable, begs you to be open and expose that side of yourself that you otherwise would not show anybody else. But when you are trying for vulnerability, it can feel very icky, especially if you're coming from that lens of toxic strength. So I encourage anybody who has this struggle. One, that's wonderful that you want to move in that direction of vulnerability, to show up differently in the relationship. And I think that to start the process of challenging those toxic strength beliefs is to recognize what are the aspects of you that perpetuates this belief. How do you see yourself and others with this particular mentality? Because the more you know about your toxic strength, the more you can do to change that.